You guys know me. I love Batman the Animated Series. And today, we got our exclusive first look at Mondo's Comic-Con Batman and Joker collectibles. Let's get into it. Okay, so I'm so excited on this because I've been toy hunting recently, as you've probably seen in my channel, for animated series Batman figures. And I've been pretty successful. I've been able to find Batman. I've been able to find Joker, Harley, Mr. Freeze, Riddler is coming to the channel, and a few others. And I love them. I love the style. I've always loved the artwork of Batman the Animated Series. But my heart is definitely still cemented in 1/6 scale collectibles. Now, Mondo Toys has announced that they're doing a new version of Batman and a Joker. Now, the cool thing about Mondo is this. This is actually a new iteration of Batman. The figure itself is different than the initial collectibles that came out. We've already seen a black version of Batman, we've seen a blue and black version, we've seen a Catwoman, which is actually still looking like it's in stock on Mondo's website, so keep that in mind. And we've also seen a Mr. Freeze. Now, I missed on the Mr. Freeze, I missed on the two Batmans, I just wasn't in the collecting mindset when they were released yet, and it was devastating, because now if I wanted to get them, it's way too expensive, way too expensive. But I've always wanted a 1/6 scale version of some of my favorite animated series characters. And Mondo is delivering on that hope. They are giving us this new Batman. Now this Batman, he's a really good looking figure. He does definitely remind me of his smaller scale counterpart that I've been able to kind of find throughout my toy hunts. The joints look very similar. The cell shading even looks very similar, to be honest. And the paint application is also pretty similar. Now, my one challenge that I have for Mondo when I'm looking at this figure right off the hop is that the figures that I've been hunting for, that smaller scale size, which is about 7 inches, maybe a little bit less than that, depending on the character, is only in the neighborhood of about $40 Canadian per figure. These guys are coming in at $235 US. Ouch. That is really steep. That means that Canadian, by the time I convert the math, get it shipped to me, pay the customs charges, I'm looking at about $310 per figure. Now, as most of you know, the animated Batman series figure line really is not small at all. And so if Mondo really dives deep into this line, I am toast. My wallet is toast. Because I don't know how far down that rabbit hole I can go and actually truly justify. But that's okay. We're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about these figures. And some of the concerns that I have are similar, like I mentioned earlier, to the small scale figures. I'm worried that in the joints, we're going to see paint wearing pretty darn quickly. The way that the paint was applied to the smaller scale figures, whenever you would bend the arm, twist the ankles, adjust the head, pop in a new arm peg, pop in a new different hand, try and get some of the figure accessories maybe into the grips of the hands, you would often see some paint flaking and some paint transference. That's a little bit of a concern for me. But I know for most of us 1/6 scale collectors, we typically get it into our collection, find a pose that we truly love, and leave it there for the most part. I would definitely recommend that with these figures, because otherwise I think we may see a higher level of damage, honestly, to the paint apps than we're used to with a lot of our other maybe Hot Toys collectibles or Sideshow collectibles, depending on what 6 scale level of figure you typically collect. Now, pulling up the Joker. The Joker has shown in some of our exclusive images here already some of the different head sculpts that you get, which are beautiful. I mean, I love the way that they're painted. I love the expressions. It reminds me of the Joker expression pack that was out a few years ago. I mean, it gave you all of these very similar types of faces as well. But I gotta say, the construction of the character is almost identical to that smaller scale figure. So once again, I already own that figure for $40. Getting him in 6 scale really will just match my actual 6 scale collection, but it is a tough pill to swallow, paying the price point that these guys are looking for. Back when Mr. Freeze had come out, back when the old Batmans from Mondo had came out, I believe they were in the $150 range. Now, everything is inflating in price now. Everything is going up in cost. And that includes figures, right? I mean, at the end of the day, these are not absolute necessities. They are wants, they are not needs. But holy cow, do I want them. And paying that price is going to be challenging. So when I look at this and I see how similar this Joker is to the Expressions Pack Joker, it does make me challenge my thinking on the purchase, for sure. But I also think that if you are a Batman the Animated Series collector, lover, fan, fanboy, whatever you want to call it, I do think you will not be disappointed by having these guys in your lineup. But I think in order to justify the pricing, what I do expect from Mondo is that the paint apps are really truly on point. I know we talked about the possibility of some wearing in the joints. That's fine. I'm okay with that. I mean, in some of the painting in the face, on the eyes. My Joker in the Expressions pack, he had some really wonky painted eyes in certain head sculpts that just didn't look good. That meant that some of those head sculpts have stayed in the box. I would really truly hate to see somebody pay premium level prices for a figure like this and have wonky paint application. So that will be something that will really truly determine whether or not I buy these figures. Is they do really have to step up their game over their 7-inch counterparts, because if they can't, or if they don't, I don't know if even I'll be able to justify paying those large ticket prices. But again, it's not all about the price. I think that if you are also a Batman collector in general, I think it's going to be really cool to see this in people's collections. If you already have the previous 2 versions of the Mondo Batmans, you don't have to worry. You can get a 3rd version now, which is cool. This is not depreciating your value of your previous figures. I also think that they will come out with more. There are other options for Batman. There are other suit looks. There are, the exosuit style, the Dark Knight style. Like, there's a lot of Batmans that Mondo could possibly do. So I think it would be really cool to have a developing collection based on those Batmans. I also would love to see more of the Rogues Gallery. We've seen a Mr. Freeze now. We've seen the Joker here with this exclusive release. If these are popular, I'm hoping to see some of the females like Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy. I would also like to see Two-Face. If you could give me an animated series Two-Face that is licensed and done in this type of art style, oh my goodness. Like, to me, that would be one of the coolest options. Also a Man-Bat. Also a Killer Croc. I mean, oh my goodness, it just goes on and on and on. But I'd also love to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on this? Are you willing to pay the price for these figures? Are you looking for anyone specifically? If you started to go down the slippery slope of this line, who would you be willing to pay the money for? And who would you maybe be willing to pass on? Please let me know in the comments below, because I need some help with my gut check on this. I love these. I love the photographs. I am so excited, as you guys can probably hear in my voice. I'm having a hard time even formulating a sentence. I'm so excited. But I also need to be smart, and I want to be strategic about my collection. I want people to come to my home and see my collection and think it's cool and not necessarily overwhelming. And I don't want a 6-scale collection that necessarily looks like toys. And this borders on the toyetic look, but just. I think that there's definitely a spot in my collection for at least a few of these guys. I personally will likely buy this Batman. I'll likely buy the Joker. I want to make sure you guys are aware of this. It does look like, based on the website, that on Friday, July the 22nd, that's this Friday, July the 22nd of this year, coming up, is when these figures will be available on the mondoshop.com website. So definitely take a look at that website that day if you guys are interested, because I do have a feeling, just like some previous iterations of these figures or characters, I do think that they will sell out pretty darn quickly, because the price, while it is still a bit high, it's still pretty reasonable in comparison to some of the other 6-scale world that we're seeing at the moment. And I think if anybody is like me and they're just as excited, these guys are going to fly off the racks. But again, I'd love to hear from you guys. Make sure you hit the like button, smash the subscribe for me, and we'll catch you on the next video.